Welcome back to another video, and this is going to be a series where we will be building some cool stuff in pure JavaScript. So if you're a beginner in JavaScript and you want to learn some cool stuff about DOM manipulation and logics, about basic game development, so you should probably watch this video. So without further ado, let's just get started. So we'll be needing three files, namely index.html, style.css, and app.js. Here I'm using the touch command to create those files, but you can manually create those files in Windows. But in Mac you can also use the touch command. So let's just create those files and generate our boilerplate. So let's just generate our boilerplate with this exclamation mark and VS Code. So we will get our boilerplate. After this, we're just gonna name it snake game, and in the body we're gonna have script tag with the source which links to our app.js, and then below the title we're gonna have a link which is going to be linking our style sheet, and in the body we're gonna have a container, and in the container we're gonna have a grid. So first of all we're going to be creating a grid for the game. So let's just open up this in live server with Alt L and Alt O, and see we get a blank page. That's normal. So let's just write something in here. Hi, it's working. So we need to create a grid with, I have decided that we're going to be using 20 by 20 grid size. So we have to create the grid. So we will create that grid in the JavaScript. Okay, so let's just get this container working. First of all, we're gonna have margin 0 and padding 0 for everything in the body, and we're gonna give a container a height of 100 view height, and width of 100 VW, so it covers the whole page. Let me just show it to you. If you give it a background of black, you can see that it's covered everything in black. Okay, so also we're gonna have this as display flex, because we're gonna have a score and the grid itself in here. Justify content center, align item center, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so for this, let's just get to the grid now. So inside of our app.js we're gonna have first of all we will create a grid. Let's just get our grid first of all, and just give it an ID, let's say, of grid, so it's easier to target. That grid is equals to document dot get element by ID, and the ID is grid. So we'll get our grid element. Let's just console log so we make sure we got it. Okay, so that says it's null. That's weird. Do the ID of grid. Yes. Document dot get element by ID of grid. What's wrong with this? Let's use query selector. Yeah, we get it. I don't know what's wrong. What was wrong with that? Anyway, so let's carry on. We have to append actually 400 divs inside of this grid, so we can have 20 by 20, because 20 by 20 is 400, right? So we will create our cells, we can say, inside here. So we're going to be using a for loop to generate the cells. So let's say let I equals to 0, I is less than 400, I plus plus, and we're gonna say let cell document dot create element. We're gonna create a div, and we're gonna give this a class of cell dot cell
dot class list dot add the class list of cell, so we know it's a cell, and we're gonna say grid dot append child cell. So now we're gonna have 400 divs inside of the grid. So let's see. What's wrong with this? Oh. Okay, so we're gonna get our grid. Let's just inspect it. So we can clearly see that our grid has 400 divs inside of it. See, all 400 divs. So we can give them a border so we can easily see like where, like how they're placed. So let's just give them a border of 1 pixel solid, border 1 pixel solid black. So as you can see, they're pretty big right now, so let's just give them a size also. They're not big, actually they don't have a size. We're gonna give them a height of 20 pixels and a width of 20 pixels as well, and we will see that we get a grid. We get the cells in a column fashion, so we will fix this. So what we can do is we can give the grid a display of grid, and we can say grid template columns. We need 20 columns, so we're gonna have auto 1 2 3 4 5 10 15 20. So what this gonna do, it will create create a grid of 20 columns, and we can also do like grid template rows, and it will do like a 20 by 20 grid in the end. So if we save, let's see. Well, it's not working, maybe that's something wrong. Okay, so why it's not working? Display of grid. Let's check our code for the reference. Here we have radius, background. Everything should work though. Maybe I missed some typo. No, I didn't. So what's wrong here? Let me see. Okay, we didn't give this. Actually, it's ID now. So we will see that our, well, what is this? This is weird. What is this? Now you can see that we have a grid of 400 cells, and we have a 20 row and 20 column. So that's it.